Multifamily, there's so many things that you can analyze, and there's different ways of doing it. This is how I do it. What I normally do is 30 to about 50 unit buildings. The economy of scale is up there, being able to stabilize it and making sure that the cash flow is strong. Usually what I've done, the 65 unit, after seriously 3 years, it's been stabilized. Before buying it, gross income was about $58,000 from the previous owner, and now it's actually, in 3 years, it's actually at $72,000 per month. So the jump is actually quite substantial, and that's pure cash flow.
How do you know that you have the right insurance coverage, or what are your recommendations? Are you going to multiple different insurance providers, getting multiple quotes, and kind of comparing the features and benefits? What should you be looking for in a property management company? Are there certain key questions or indicators that might give you an idea of whether they're going to be a good fit for you and your situation?
That's where your income is, okay? Some people don't want that headache, and you want that person to stay for 20, 30 years. No, you don't want that, people, okay? You do not want that. You want that nice turnover so you get that income up.
We're back with Kasey Wong, and today's video we're going to be discussing how he approaches analyzing multifamily real estate investing. He's going to share some tips, some rules of thumb, and we're even going to analyze the numbers behind some deals. You guys have been asking for it, so smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and let me know in the comment section, what should Kasey and I chat about in future videos? Let me know in that comment section, and let's dive into this video with Kasey. All right, guys, I've got Kasey Wong here again. We're in his office in Toronto, and we're going to talk about analyzing apartment buildings, multifamilies, and kind of even breaking down some of the numbers you guys need to be aware of when it comes to getting into multifamily deals like Kasey Wong does. So first, thank you, Kasey, for taking the time to sit down with us. And yeah, let's dive right into it.
Okay. Multifamily, there's so many things that you can analyze, and there's different ways of doing it. This is how I do it, but talk to other people as well, because you get different perspectives in different markets and different experiences. So definitely, this is my take on it. Apartment buildings, I like the multifamily it's not the small ones, not the duplex or triplex. It's going to be the 20, what I normally do is 30 to about 50 unit buildings. The economy of scale is up there, being able to stabilize it and making sure that the cash flow is strong. Usually what I've done, the 65 unit, after seriously 3 years, it's been stabilized. Great income. I told you before, I think before buying it, gross income was about $58,000 from the previous owner, and now it's actually, in 3 years, it's actually at $72,000 per month. So the jump is actually quite substantial, and that's pure cash flow, okay? So this is your rent. You're getting it, let's say you're on a 65 unit. Mine was $58K per month, right? So it's at $58K. You're gonna analyze the rent. So you're going to go and take a look at the specific location. Let's just say it's Cambridge, Kitchener-Waterloo, St. Catharines. Now I'm in St. Catharines. So before, old rents were for one bedroom at like $800 to $800. Your two bedrooms about $900. Maybe your three bedrooms maybe about $1,000, $1,100. Then it substantially jumps, right? So know your rents, okay? So it's going to be that specific location. You cannot compare like in Ohio or Detroit with a New York or a California. It's going to be completely different. But London, again, is going to be different from Toronto. Toronto is going to be different from a KWC, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge. And Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge is going to be a little bit different from St. Catharines. So know your areas. So that's your gross, okay? And it can actually go up. We actually got it up to about 73, or 72, excuse me, 72 per month, okay? So great cash flow on larger buildings, okay? Now, you have that, you're gonna analyze that. There's a lot of stuff to know about this, okay? So you're gonna take a look at your Kijiji, you're gonna take a look at your Facebook Marketplace, things like that. So you're gonna go and take a look at what the rents are going for, and you're going to know that for your investors. You're gonna go in, remember I said put your baseball cap on, you're gonna go in as a tenant, prospective tenant, and you're gonna see the competition. That's crucial, you gotta know it, okay? So that's rent. Now expense side, your insurance, okay? Just talking specifically about insurance, you're gonna get the right insurance. So insurance, you're gonna know the previous owner's insurance costs. And let's say my 51 building, like student housing, it wasn't insured properly. It wasn't student housing. He didn't get the right coverage. rent wasn't covered properly, things like that. So make sure that your insurance is crucial. Because let's say if I had a fire, okay, and as a student housing, my insurance, the insurance coverage wouldn't cover that damage, okay? So making sure that you pay the right premiums. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit more, but it's crucial because if you don't have it right, I know you want to say something, you're not going to get covered.
Yeah, so how do you know that you have the right insurance coverage, or what are your recommendations? Are you going to multiple different insurance providers, getting multiple quotes and kind of comparing the features and benefits?
That's right. Exactly what you just said. So I'm going to get the features and the benefits. I'm going to tell them what I'm doing, okay? If it's an Airbnb, I don't do Airbnb, but if I do a student housing and this is a building, you're going to tell the insurance company that, hey, this is a student housing. I have 51 students in here. Mommy and daddy might be co-signing or so on and so forth. I'm a property manager. You're going to tell them all this. So you're not going to hide, number one.
Yeah, I think it's really important when it comes to insurance companies. Like, we never want to try and hide anything or slip anything under. Like, it's one time where like 100% transparency is extremely important, because the only time you're going to find out you don't have the right coverage is when you're in a bad situation.
That's right. Good point. So yeah, no hiding here, okay? So it's very, very crucial.
And then any tips on how to find great insurance recommendations?
Yeah. So what I went to is that I got all the coverage. I told them exactly what I'm doing and got the coverage. And then I just took that, sort of that template, I went to another brokerage firm.
Yeah.
Right? So you're just taking it and you say, hey, but you're hiding the premium cost, right? On a monthly. You just say, hey, just black it out and say, hey, what can you cover? Exactly this. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And that's just getting apples to apples, right? Comparison. Okay, so
yeah, that's perfect. And like, one thing I just want to recommend to the audience is, personally, I found that like often local farm mutual insurance companies can often have very competitive rates while still having great coverage. One thing that I see on smaller rental properties that people make mistakes, they just go to like they've got their car insurance with State Farm or with TD, and they literally go and try and get a rental policy there, and the cost, the premiums are just insane. So it's really important with insurance you shop around.
That's right. So good point. Like, just make sure you get the right coverage, shop around, and make sure that everything, is done properly. Go to your local meetups and get other investors to give you recommendations. So that's crucial, your insurance. R&M is basically repair and maintenance, and I just do 20%, 50%, or 80%. This is on a new building. 20% it was on our Worley Village building. 50% is pretty average. Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by 20, 50, and 80, and this is for a really rundown building. Okay, these are per rent. Okay, so $1,000. Let's say your rent is $1,000. Okay, times this by 1,000. This is going to be your $1,000 is your monthly rent, right? So let's say $200, right? This is a nice building. Times this by 10 units, right? This is the number of units. That's $2,000 per year. If it's 80%, that'll be $8,000 on a rundown building, right? So that's what you're just multiplying. This is the art of, there's an art and a science, okay? So this is the art. You kind of see what it takes, and then when you do your projections, right? So this is going to be on Excel spreadsheet. So this is going to be your year one. This is your projection, right? Your projection. This is your year one. So whatever these numbers are, you're going to get this, right? So let's say this is 100, and this is 200, and so on and so forth. This could be 110, and this will be 190, right? So you're going to get your variance report as well. So your variance is going to be 10. There's going to be negative 10. Now you're going to know you're under and over. Now your year two looks going to be a little bit better, right? So you know what you're doing, right? So from here, the 20, 50, and 80, this is just an art. I'm going to take this. You can take whatever number you want. You can say $500 per unit, and that's what I'm going to take. That's I always do 500, and 500 it is, right? Then you'll know that's your projection. Year one, exactly. You know it's not 500. It's maybe maybe it's 200. Okay, you over projected. Now you have a surplus, right? So you're going to know from a property management standpoint what you're doing on year over year. So that's your repair and maintenance costs. Your property tax. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to know exactly what that is. It's going to show in your analysis. You're going to know from the city exactly what you're going to be paying, right, for that. So that's pretty easy. Your gas, water,
Are you guys enjoying this video? Are you looking to raise money yourself? Did you know in my one-on-one coaching sessions, I help you break down exactly what your JV avatar should look like, what your ideal money partner should look like, or what your ideal lender should look like. As well, we put together a package where you can start presenting to them a little mini pitch deck. It's really important as an investor that we get our story clear and we get it concisely figured out so we can present it to potential money partners or to potential private lenders. If you guys are interested in doing a one-on-one coaching session with me, whether it be in real life here in the mansion or just through a phone call, check out the link in the video description that we'll throw down below for you guys. Just about to get started with a coaching session. We're going to be talking about wholesaling as well. This guy's going to transition to becoming a full-time flipper. So we're going to break down his roadmap and really reverse engineer his goals to make sure he doesn't lose all his money in his first year as a full-time real estate investor.
Just got back from London. Wanted to give a shout out to the man, Matt McKeever. This guy literally propelled me months ahead with my real estate flipping business. I really didn't know what to expect going into this coaching session. But honestly, he was so thorough with my questions, so generous with his network and opening it up to me. And I'm walking away knowing exactly what I need to do. And I'm just super excited to hit the ground running. So if anybody's on the fence about coaching, paying for coaching, I'm speaking to you. Meeting a guy like Matt and getting his time is well worth its weight in gold and more.
Your property tax, pretty self-explanatory. You're going to know exactly what that is. It's going to show in your analysis. You're going to know from the city exactly what you're going to be paying, right, for that. So that's pretty easy. Your gas, water, all of this. Okay, that you'll pretty much know. They're going to give that to you. Sometimes they send you like the 1 year utility bills. Okay, so know all that. Okay, sometimes you put anywhere from a 2 to 5% increase year over year. So when you're doing your projections, right, it's going to be a 2 to 5% increase, 2 to 5% increase, bang, bang, bang. Nice and simple. Property management, we talked about that. So on a multifamily, you're doing a multifamily apartment buildings, it's 3 to 5% on gross rent. Times that by your gross rent. Okay, now on the lower side, it's going to be like no frills. On the high side, it's going to be like more. You're just going to be paying more for that management, and you expect more.
Higher service. So do you mind kind of breaking down for the audience that don't have a lot of experience, like what should you be looking for in a property management company? Are there certain key questions or indicators that might give you an idea of whether they're going to be a good fit for you and your situation?
I would probably see their properties. Like I would want to see how they're managing existing properties, see their clientele, talk to the current owners. It could be talking to the tenants, right? So you're driving around, seeing their current tenants. You know what? Even seeing their receivables, right? You know what? Let me see your receivables list. Okay, like on our Yardi system, you can see how the tenant ledger to see if it's really bad or not.
Yeah, how timely they are in collections.
So that's crucial. Okay, like we do everything in house. So I'm the property manager, but the thing is that I sort of don't know what other management companies do. But this line item is crucial because that's going to probably make or break you. Okay. I know another investor that was getting the super to do the property management, and he kept on saying, you know what, there's a vacant unit. But in the meantime, it was actually filled, and it was, and he was pocketing all that money. So on $1,000 over a couple of years or whatever, right? He goes, oh no, this is rented or whatever. He's just making fudging leases up, and it was like you're gonna run into problems if you don't manage this properly, right? You have to oversee property management, like it's crucial.
And so any tips on how to oversee the property managers? Like obviously you self-manage right now, but like would you be checking in once a month? Would you be in like random audit inspections? Like what would you be doing? Exactly
what you said. I'll do like once a month, and random pop-ups. I'm gonna go take a look at the unit, right? Call them in, like basically call them up and say, hey, I'd like to see a unit, or get my friends or family. I've never done that, but I would definitely oversee that.
Yeah, and they should be providing you kind of monthly reports, right? And it should be very clear and organized. If they're not, that's probably a bad indicator.
That's right, that's right. Monthly reports, and also contractors, right? So they probably take care of the contractors, the plumbers, electricians, stuff like that, right? If they have their hands in that, you're probably going to be having your contract, whatever your
repairs and maintenance.
Repairs and maintenance are going to be going up, right? So maybe if you managed it in year one and then you got a property manager to manage it, why is my R&M going up so high now, right? So there's red flags that you can see, or like there's so many things that there's problems can come up in this line item so much. So you got to be very careful. Property management.
Yeah, and this can hit a lot of your other line items,
That's
right?
So this can actually hit your rent, right? Is he maximizing the rent? Is he actually renting it out? Or is he renting it out and you don't even know about it and you kept on saying it's vacant, right? So that's going to hit this and this. Your gross rent is going to be lower, right? And then you have a vacancy allowance, so you're paying for it, right? And I just don't even let these guys take my rent, right? They don't even have to be getting your rent now. These days, property managers shouldn't even be touching that's why I said, like, my property, like, if I was gonna outsource that out, I would chop their hands if they're stealing my money, right? In a nice way. I'm not gonna chop people's hands off, right? But yeah, seriously, like, your property manager is crucial because they're taking care of the property. They're taking a look at the prospective tenants. They're renting it out. Make sure that they're doing the work properly, okay? Cleaners. So cleaners, what I normally pay is $200 a month, okay? Monday and Fridays, they're gonna be cleaning it. Monday and Fridays, 1 hour each, okay? So that's, you pay somebody $20 an hour.
That's kind of like vacuuming or mopping the hallways.
Mopping the hallways, things like that, walking the building. They have those little picker-upper things. They just pick it up and toss it out, right? Garbage bin is there. And they sort of, oversee everything. So the cleaner / super does all that. They get all the showings and they show for $10 an hour. I mentioned that before. So it's not crazy, but it's crazy expensive, but I'm probably paying anywhere from about $700 to maybe $900, right? It actually includes like painting if they want to paint, right? So it's about $300 to $350 for single, like a 1 bedroom, about $400 to $450 for 2 bedroom, and then for 3 bedroom you're probably looking at about probably $100 more, like $500, $550, $600, right? Depending on the work and so on and so forth. So earning $200 on the minimum for cleaning. They get all the painting work. If they want to do any kind of other work, let's say changing doorknobs, showings, all that, they get all that, okay? So pay them just a little bit shy of $1,000. I don't discount the rent, I'm just paying them out as a contract, okay? So that's for cleaning. Lawn care, you'll take a look at, if you can, get the previous owner's contractors if they can. Sometimes they want to stay on, so keep them on your list. But if you're not doing well, you're gonna quickly get your quotes. So get your 3 quotes in, and then get your people in there. Okay, if they're not doing a good job, make sure you get your quotes and get them out. The vacancy allowance. Some people say 5%. On gross rent, but make sure you have something there as well, okay? It depends, like sometimes we have a tight market in Ontario, it could be less than that, but always have a buffer.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, all this goes into your projection for this. So all of this is insurance, R&M, and so you get the idea. Then you have your projections, then you have your 1 year, then you have your variance report, right? So from year over year, you're gonna have that variance report. You're gonna know this is 100, it makes sense. My insurance is always $100, okay? It's gonna be around $100, hasn't really changed, or that increase, that gradual increase. Then you have your rents are increasing on a steady basis. So I think I said this before, it's just a little bit harder to, now it's a lot easier, it's on paper here, but your rents as well. So your rents will be here minus all of this, and then you're gonna project your rent, your tenant turnover as well. So you have your 40. So you're gonna project on a 40 unit building. Again, this is art, okay? It's not gonna be exact. I'm thinking probably 8 units will turn over. in that first year. So that's the line item right here. Tenant turnover, 8 units. It could be 5, then 3, 3, 3, 3, like throughout. But the bulk of your turnover will be at year 1. Okay. People, it's not gonna like Matt. He's too handsome. He's too tall.
People sometimes don't like change, right? Or just any sort of little disturbance. It often does seem to increase tenant turnover in that first year. Yeah.
People, honestly, a lot of my tenants don't like that. I don't know why. It's like, I fix stuff, but the thing is that they want to pay. Like, I want them to pay on time, right? I give them the N4s right away. I actually L1, like the L1 in some of my properties, the one that we just purchased. Boom! I just L1 them. Right, it's $190, right, or $175. This is the eviction for non-payment of rent. So you're going to give these notices right away. But the first year, year 1, expect about 20% turnover. Okay. Year 2, expect it to go, a little bit less. It could be a 4 or 5 unit turnover, and so on and so forth. So you see that progression, and that's what's actually, you want that turnover. All right. That's where your income is. Okay. Some people don't want that headache, and you want that person to stay for 20 or 30 years. No, you don't want that, people. Okay, you do not want that. You want that nice turnover so you get that income up. This rent is going to go with that $58,000 to $72,000, and that's what you want in 3 years. That's what you want.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Anything else we should take into consideration, Kasey? I guess one thing that I thought might be fun to chat about, and this is obviously kind of a separate beast, but both of us now, when I think looking at, thank you YouTube for 50,000 subscribers. It's been an amazing journey, and thank you to the team for this vegan cake. This is epic, guys. Just absolutely love it. I'm speechless. Again, thank you to all of you that have been on the journey for the last 2.5 years now on YouTube. 50,000 subs. I can remember when I originally started my YouTube channel dreaming about 10,000 subs, dreaming about 1,000 subs, and I can even remember talking to one of my best friends at the time and being like, 200 subs would be cool, man. So 50,000, amazing. We're still just halfway to 100,000 though, so we got a lot more to do and a lot more to go. Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Anything else we should take into consideration, Kasey? I guess one thing that I thought might be fun to chat about, and this is obviously kind of a separate beast, but both of us now, when I think looking at like our multifamily deals, we actually put in a allowance or a budget for like your general office overhead. So like, do you, like right now, what we've been doing is kind of a 5% of gross rents is what we allocate just to kind of like office admin, because we have accountants and lawyers and just all those random little costs and fees that associate, like that add up. Actually, that's a good point, because we actually put that in, it's a higher level. Excuse me, this is it's an asset management fee that goes to my wife, because there's that legal, there's the accounting part that we have to factor in. I think it's about maybe 2 to 4%. Okay, yeah. It's a 2 to 4%. So my property management, I charge 4%, okay, to my investors. All right, and there's an asset management, so I'll just put asset management. And my wife, I think she takes about, 2% or something. It's a 1 to 2%. I think it's in the 2. But you're managing that asset, right? There's the admin person that you have to pay. There's time and cost that I have to incur to, basically you're doing portfolio updates, okay? Yeah. So these are reports that we have to do. So doing all of this, we have to manage that. So there is a cost involved because we have to rent an office. So on and so forth. There's a lot of things that you have to pay on this asset management and property management. So the 4% on gross rent of say $60,000, that's about $2,400, right? Right. So $2,400 that I'm not breaking the bank. Like this is not a huge amount of money. Yeah. $2,400 on a 65 unit building, it's not a lot, right? But hey, if you had another 65 units, that's what, 4,800, that's 5,000, almost 5,000, it adds up. So now I'm getting $5,000 for it, but I got to do the work, right? For asset management, I'm the owner. I actually go to the tribunal. I don't get a paralegal. Yeah. I do all of that. There's a fire, there's a flood, I'm there, right? They expect me to jump, right? Yeah. Remember I had that conversation. They expect me to jump. Just like I expect the superintendent to jump. It's like, not jump, like literally like go and jump. Like, I know there's some comments about that, but like, investors expect me to get my ass
at the building, okay, because that's their investment. I have to make sure that I'm taking care of their money, right? So if there's a fire or flood, something that goes wrong, somebody's shot, somebody's died or whatever, you go there. That's your investment, right? And I'm sure you do the same thing. Everybody does the same thing, okay? Make sure that you are taking care of the downside risk for them. That's their money, and respect it.
100%. And I think it's really important just to kind of point out for the audience that even if you plan on self-managing, even if you plan on doing the asset management, you should still be baking these numbers into your projection, just because at some point in time, assuming your real estate investing career goes right, you're eventually going to decide to outsource it. You're going to decide that like your time's better spent somewhere else, or you may just have to take some time off for whatever reason. So I find a lot of beginner investors try and lie to themselves by maybe skipping the property management fee, trying to skip the vacancy allowance, trying to skip the asset management fee. And all of a sudden, like if we're skipping the property management fee, the asset management fee, and the vacancy allowance, even if this is say 2%, 5%, 4%, all of a sudden that's 10% of our gross rents that we haven't really built into our expenses. And it's quite easy to lie to ourselves by just like tweaking those numbers a bit.
That's right. Yeah, good point. Good point. So a lot of this homework you're going to have to do. You're going to put this on Excel spreadsheet. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be analyzing it. You're going to be analyzing this with several properties. So not just one. Okay. So now you have a good sort of information that you can present to your investors. Like when we show our investors, like we actually have brochures. It's not a one pager. It's not. The thing is that these are. Actually, my wife, me, and then actually my partner here is Mark Bui. He joined us recently. But this is what we're doing, right? So you have to present something that looks decent, right, to these investors. They have your numbers, your analysis, your assumptions, how you're taking a look at the location, the property, how is the project structures like legally, right? So there's quite a bit of information. These are past projects, right, that we have done, right? So we put this in a brochure like this, and we give it to our investors, right? Yeah. So it's not just, hey, like I'll send you an email on this one snap, whatever, MLS listing. The thing, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. My parents were quite comfortable, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the building. They walked it, and they said, yeah, go ahead. We'll, lend you the $50,000. But in a project like this, if you're getting to something bigger, you're gonna have to show this, okay? You're gonna have to show it on paper. You have to talk about it. Some investors wanna see your buildings, see your past project. I remember talking to Adam Martin and saying that having like several properties, people want to see it first, okay? They want to, touch it and say, okay, well, this is, this is good, this is not good, right? They want to point those fingers and say that, oh, you're doing a great job here, or you're not doing a good job there, okay? So get ready for that, the criticism. But always, if you're going to have like a tour, walk the building first. Yes. You walk your buildings. Like you say, what? Oh yeah, the balcony, it doesn't look great, but we're changing all the railings next year. Okay. The roof, yeah, it doesn't look great. You had a drone and you looked at it. Yeah, it looks, there's ponding and all that, but you know what? I got my roof up there. Everything is good. All right. So you point to them. You point to those problem areas first. Electrical, you have aluminum wiring. You don't have to rip it all out. I already got 3 quotes for the aluminum wiring, right? That's what you're going to show them. Let's say you have your vacancy allowance. You're buying a building that's 50% vacant. Okay, what are you going to do? All right. So you say that you've put the ads out there. I know what I'm going to be commanding for rent. I know how much my renovations are. I've got all the contractors, all that lined up, and I know the cost involved in the renovations. So each line item, when you present it to these investors, you better know what you're talking about. You better have contractors' information out there saying, hey, this is it. This is the cost. I have to change the intercom, let's say on the my new building, the 40-unit building. So I already have all that presented, right? So they're investing with you, that $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. You better know how to manage their money properly, or manage this building, this asset properly, because you want them to feel comfortable at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love it. That's a perfect way, I think, to wrap up this video. Again, remember, real estate is a business, and we need to treat it like a business, guys. Yeah. All right, Kasey, I want to talk to you about something that comes up a lot in the comment section on all my real estate videos. The real estate market in Canada is really frothy. It's going to crash. You're going to lose everything. So what are your thoughts in general on, say, a general Canadian real estate market crash? And like, can you sleep at night?
Now, the real estate crash, okay, it's not going to happen in the multifamily space. Okay, so that's why I'm in the multifamily space. It's because if there's any downturn in that real estate, single family homes or the condos, people are gonna jump ship as tenants wise, okay? Or people that's what's going to buy, they're gonna rent now, okay? So the multifamily space is very, very stable.
Did you guys enjoy this video? Smash that like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and we've got more Kasey on the way, so stay tuned.